Welcome to this edition of Backstage Pass with Leah Chang. I'm your host, Leah Chang. Today, I'm at Theaterlab with two very prolific actors, friends of mine as well, Ariel Estrada in Full Contact and David Lee Huỳnh in Bleep You Very Much, Mom, from November 20th to December 7th at Theaterlab. I actually saw, I believe it was the first
Oh my God.
right? It was
It was way back in 2021, maybe?
yes.
And it was at the Tank. Kept developing it over the last couple of years, including a residency at the Orchard Project. Thank you, Ari.
And it's always been called Full Contact.
It's always been called Full Contact. And that is a reference to my sordid martial arts past. And for those of you who do martial arts out there, full contact fighting is usually fighting with no protective gear. It's just all-out brawling. Yeah, which I used to do, which people always are surprised at.
So what inspired you to write this show?
It was asking a question of my dear friend and teacher, Andrew Borthwick Leslie, asked when he first heard about the concept of the show, which is my journey of being a cult survivor. I was in a martial arts cult for 20 years. And he asked, what does it mean to have a body? What does it mean to have your body now that's been through this? And that started this journey for, oh my gosh, since 2000 now, to do this play. And I got lots of support from the Tank and the Orchard Project and Brick Media Arts in Brooklyn. And thank you, New York State Council on the Arts, and the DCLA for all the support that people have given.
Well, and I believe this is called, it's part of a rolling premiere.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It is a NNPN, Rolling World Premiere, National New Play Network Rolling World Premiere. It's an amazing program where playwrights can submit their plays, and then they for submission to this award, and then you have to have up to 3 to 4 member theaters of the National New Play Network to agree to do premieres of the show. And it's been fantastic. The 3 theaters that agreed to do it was Perseverance Theater up in Juneau, Alaska, and it was directed last December by Leslie Ashee, the amazing Leslie Ashee. Here it's going to be doing here in New York, opening up on November 20th, going through December 7th, and being directed by Gaven Trinidad. And then finally, we're going to do another version of the show in San Diego at Diversionary Theater, which is the 3rd oldest LGBT theater in the United States.
And I wonder after that, it is the, as you go down, it is the, oh my God. Yeah. Maybe just walk through that. You don't need to go like, beat the shit out of that fucking asshole in the ring during our match. Was that tough enough for you? Thank you so much for your advice, sir. It was so helpful. Now that it's sink in, was that tough enough for you? Shit. Was that not enough for you?
What does it mean for you to bring this to New York?
It is a real, well, I guess I could say homecoming, because I feel like I'm a New Yorker. I've been here for 28 years. Oh my God. For 28 years now. And the show is so immersed in my life here in New York. And versions of this play, which you've seen an early version of this, went literally 25, the whole 25 years of my time in New York at that point. And now it's 28. And somehow I managed to get all of that into about 55 minutes now.
So 55 minutes, a snapshot of your life. What do you hope audiences will take away from it?
Wow. Well, especially in the times that we're living in.
Yes.
Yes. I'm really hoping that they get a sense of compassion right now, because it's so easy right now to blame people, to be very hostile towards the forces that are and understandably they're hostile towards these forces that are trying to take away our freedoms, take away our right to be, our right to live.
Right.
And they are hurt. They're hurt in some way. And I hope that people will gain a compassion and empathy for those folks, even as we have resist and struggle against the harms that they're doing.
It's beautiful, man.
Now, I have had the joy and pleasure of seeing you in many different incarnations, The Merchant of Venice, and most recently Bus Stop, right? What does it feel like for you to write your own piece? I know that you've been writing. I certainly you've been doing a lot. You were doing a lot with the Song Collective, but what does it mean to bring something of yourself to fruition, as opposed to doing these other classics? Or
The short answer is I want to vomit and poop myself at the same time. Because I feel like
tell me how you really feel.
Because as an actor, you know, you get these words, and I mean, the feeling I get when I get the call that I got a job is like, oh, amazing, I get to do it. And then the next feeling was like, oh no, I have to do it. And so like this weird like ego thing where I'm like navigating now. It's like, okay, how do I fit into these words written by someone? How do I factor in all these layers about like what time it's written in, the zeitgeist that the play was meeting? But on the flip side, as a writer who's now performing my own writing, that I don't have that filter. Like before, I'm interpreting someone else's words.
Right.
And this is all not only words that are coming from me, but drawn from my own real life. And so it feels very vulnerable and kind of naked.
Sure. Well, actually, there was one other show that I wanted to stick in there, which was Once Upon a Korean Time.
Yes.
So
That's also my director.
Yes. The title of my play is Bleep You Very Much, Mom. And if whatever you think the bleep is, you're probably right. So I did a developmental workshop and a reading last year with Yangtze Repertory Theater of America. And then earlier this year, Ma Yi Theater and Second Generations helped me do 2 readings of it. And then this workshop run, the final piece of the puzzle was there's some really intricate staging and scenic design that's in the script. So what's that like? And I think that's the last piece of the puzzle that we're trying to figure out. And I think we have.
Well, I love this space. I've photographed a number of shows in this space. You know, so often we're in these little black boxes. But this space is so beautiful in its whiteness. Now we have added color too. No, but I mean, it's just a different sort of reflection.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would think, because I've only photographed people on the stage, I would think that for you to be doing it out into a fresh canvas as opposed to just the dark is different.
I think so. I mean, our lighting designer, Yang Yu, is just amazed. They're just like, yeah, it's a white space. Whatever I put on it, it'll blow up the space. And so they're having a great time. And there is something really poetic about like this all white space, bringing our stories into it. It's kind of like what Ariel was saying earlier, the time that we live in, the political climate, the country that we're in. By telling our stories, we're eking out our space in this all white space.
Be granted the use of Nguyen for your last name. But Vietnamese people love a grift, and no one ever really checked. So now, over a third of all Vietnamese people worldwide have the last name Nguyen. Jumping back in time, the leaders of the Liang dynasty felt threatened by these missionaries proselytizing, and so they executed them for spreading Christianity. This was a huge
I love hearing Ariel's story with it, because it really feels like this is something that you've really grown with and you've given it really time to chart out and how it lands with audiences. And I think for me, it was grappling with a part of myself from when I was very young. And then really the process for me has been, okay, I put something down on a piece of paper. I've read it out loud. Oh, people are responding to it. Maybe now I can share more of and now they're responding to that really well. And so I think this kind of process that I've been through has actually been kind of an unfurling and unraveling. And the more people respond to it, it's like, oh, then I can go there, because like now the audience is here with me and it's actually really safe and wonderful when I share more of this.
God, I tell her everything. Yeah, no. My mom told me that holding hands with a girl would get them pregnant until I was 23. I knew I became an adult in my parents' eyes when my mom went from telling me holding hands with a girl would get them pregnant to telling me to give her a grandbaby. And then I'd say, well, Mom, I've been holding hands with lots of girls and it's just not working out the way you said it would. And I think it's hilarious. But then my dad comes and starts this monologue every time. Son, I'm 85 years old. I don't have a lot of time left and I just want to hold a baby in my arms before I wither away and die. And then I say I can't think about having a kid right now for a lot of different reasons, but mostly because actor. And then they tag team me with a kind of teamwork that would make Batman and Robin proud.
I will tell this story every chance I get. When I first moved to New York City, Ariel Estrada was the first person in the Asian American community to sit down with me. And he sat down with his laptop. We were at a bar, and I think we were there for like at least 4 hours. And he just sat down and showed me, little boy from Louisiana moving to the big city, this is what you got to do to be an actor in New York. This is how you self-submit. This is what you think about when you're talking to reps. And I really credit you, Ariel, with helping me become an actor in this city that I didn't think that I could live in when I was a kid. And now it feels so full circle that when I'm in this new journey as a writer and really trying to figure out my voice and try to get my work out there, you've so graciously given me this space to share with you. And I think that just speaks so much to the work that you do and the platform you've given so many people. So thank you, man.
And in addition to Leviathan Lab and Second Generation Productions, we are also getting help from Theaterlab itself in their program Theaterlab Shares, which is a fantastic program that gives discounted prices to folks of color.
Non-profits.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
BIPOC.
Yeah, the smallest of nonprofits, and is very supportive of the indie theater scene. And then Mixed Asian Media, the wonderful Alex Chester Blank, who has been lending her name and her support in terms of the marketing for the show. All these wonderful people have been helping this. And also, I really want to give a shout out to Indie Space. I love that organization. I won their lottery, their resources lottery, and the resource that I got was a free show getting ASL translation from Inclusive Communication Services. So shout out to Inclusive Communication Services. We're going to be doing a ASL interpreted show of both shows on Saturday, December 6th at 7. So if you know anybody who would like to come see the show, please do come to the space. Unfortunately, there is an elevator. That's fortunate. But unfortunately, the bathrooms are not accessible, are not ADA compliant. So just know that if you're going to come to the show.
Okay.
And I'd like to shout out Second Generation Productions. They've been a huge help in realizing this play from its inception till now. Yangtze Repertory Theater of America, Mayi Theater Company, the Sound Collective, and so many private donors came together to make this happen. And also, we have 3 staff members of the Thai Theater Foundation that are working on Bleepy Very Much Mom. So it's a community effort.
I'm going to give 3 more shout outs to our wonderful producing team. We have the incredible Eliza Wu, we have the incredible Pradanya Subramanian, and also Lisa Virginia Felsen. And they are knocking out of the park in terms of the production. And the entire design team for both shows are just incredible pros, and they're doing a lot in a very short amount of time.
So I heard a lot of women's names.
Yes, I'm very proud to say that it is mostly actually it's all women, isn't it? We have one man.
Gaven.
Well, the director, then we have one man on the design team.
Okay.
But it's 90% all design team, all women and non-binary folks. So I'm very proud of that. It's something that Leviathan has done since our very start. I always have striven to have at least 50% women, non-binary, and gender expansive folks.
Well, what does it mean for you to be an Asian American theater maker in this time?
I think we saw a spike in anti-Asian violence during COVID, and these things have stayed with us. This is a very charged political time. We're sensing rising xenophobia because of fears with another rising superpower in Asia. And I feel like to be a person of color is you are vulnerable. And I think that to be a person of color that is an artist and is doing your work unapologetically is really an act of resistance. And so right now, I think that if you're a person of color making art, it's not just necessary, but it's vital for yourself and the people around you. So keep doing your thing.
And I would say that this is a time to keep resisting and to keep doing the things that we have to do to make sure that we get our representation on stages, that we do our work we remember that we're not only entertainers, and let me just rephrase that. In addition to being entertainers, a lot of our work also focuses in on justice for people, and that is something that we should always remember and strive for in our work, because we raise awareness by telling our stories. Both David and I are telling extremely personal stories about what it is like to be an immigrant and the son of immigrants in this country. And it's it's both funny and brutal and fantastic. And by telling those stories, we resist against people who say that we are less than. And I will always fight for that.
So, thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Leah Chang. Until next time, but please come to see Ariel Estrada in Full Contact and David Lee Huỳnh in Bleep You Very Much, Mom, from November 20th to December 7th at Theater Lab.